So anyways, one of the lies that I was believing was that nobody wants me. And that's actually one of the areas where I ended up starting my masturbation escapade. Well, I had it before, but not like that. In that area, I was actually a virgin at the time, and I officially just turned around and dropped off the idea of even looking for a woman. And I started basically not only masturbating, but trying to split my identity. And I did that at one point, and that wasn't good because it also allowed something else to get in between and in there, so that wasn't good. Anyway, so the point is a lot of area where I was running out for the area of trying to be sexually gratified or whatnot and stuff like that was actually because I felt unwanted and rejected and not wanted, basically. There was a point in time that I actually got angry at the Lord, and I got really, really angry and furious because He wanted me to not masturbate, and then at the same time I didn't feel that He gave me provision to actually stop. So yeah, I didn't feel that He gave me provision to stop. I didn't feel like He gave me the grace to stop, and I didn't feel like He gave me the grace to actually screw up either. So basically I got smacked around in this perfectionism and religiousness and this anger and hatred towards the Lord. And a lot of it actually wasn't that. It was actually related to the factor that it wasn't something I really wanted anyways, because the reason I was even doing it to begin with was because of something that I was missing, and that was missing being accepted by people. So I obviously still don't fit in, and but I'm starting to come to grips with that, and being able to sit down and actually believe that I am wanted and acceptable. That is hard. That is hard because when you've actually been shown that a lot, turning around and looking at it and believing that that's actually a lie, it's not easy. I know I just did a video about this, but it's not easy. So it's basically almost like, say you just watch someone turn around and basically hit a baseball, watch it go over the fence, and then bounce around a few times. Then you turn around and you have to suddenly say, that didn't happen. It's basically taking scenarios like that, except in the sense of being rejected or shown that you're not wanted. And the worst point is you actually have times, not every one of those scenarios are true, because a lot of times you end up actually having a nasty critter or demon or whatnot not only trying to influence you, but influencing someone else to do the same screwed up stuff. I mean, honestly, we're in a war, so it's not always, you end up seeing a lot of this stuff from people, and then you end up seeing or hearing all this rejective stuff in you and at you from spirits and stuff, and it's just, it's not easy. Especially when you actually see it, and then you have to sit down and turn around and say, okay, this is a lie. And this is a lie, and what this lie is causing problems in my life. This is what is done. Okay, here's the pain. Alright, Jesus, let's deal with it. And I'm going to work on believing that I am wanted and I am acceptable. And yeah, so basically, in that sense, no, it is not easy. It is actually extremely difficult. So, especially when it feels like I wanted it acceptable. I mean, you would think that you would run to that answer. You really do, but you don't always run to things that are, even if they're true, and even if you want them, even if you want to believe that, even if you want that truth, sometimes you don't want to grab it because you really don't believe it. You actually believe it's a lie. And then the worst is at times you'll actually push away from that truth and want to grab onto what really is the lie. And, actually trying to talk to parts, because you sit there and you look at how difficult it is and how hard it is at times. It's horrible that sometimes you actually want to hold on to the lie, even though you know that it's actually that's causing all the problems, and that's what's actually tearing you up. Sometimes you think it's easier to hold onto the lie instead, because it's not easy grabbing onto the truth, especially when you've dealt with it your whole life, especially when you've been through the trials I have. If you've been through the trials I have, believe me, you would have a very hard time. The trials that I had didn't really actually say the Lord wanted me either on top of it. In fact, that's a lot of how it started. The Lord wanted me to surrender or whatnot, or do something, and I remember saying directly to him, "Don't you want me, Daddy?" And I suddenly clicked, got upset at him, and I got angry at him, and I took in that lie that he didn't really want me, and I've been dealing with it since. So that's actually where it really started, because I knew I had sin, and I knew that I was sinning here and there, but it didn't seem to get in my way with my relationship with him. I still went to him every day. I still tried to be with him all day long, and that's all I wanted, and I just believed he loved me and accepted me and stuff like that. But there was certain areas of where the sin was actually causing problems in my life, which I didn't notice it, and I just believed that he loved me, accepted me anyway. So when he was saying about taking certain things out, and I got really angry. I actually ended up accusing and telling him that wasn't love for me, that was love for himself. That I actually got upset and started accusing him of not actually loving me and not actually wanting me. So, I know that's a lie, but it's actually convincing this part of me in that area, and letting that area to actually know that that's a lie, that the Lord really does want me for who I am and really does care about me. And this part's got this areas where it doesn't actually understand a lot of what's happened. I've been straight up tormented and tortured. It's labor pains. A lot of people, hey women, you'll like this. When guys go through trials on certain areas, don't worry, they learn what you have in common on labor. Some probably worse. Anyways, and yeah, the ripping, tearing, and pushing, and ouch. Anyways, yeah. The difference is that it's more of an actual spiritual, emotional sort of area, which actually is all. You'd be surprised at how much you could actually feel physical. That is not actually the body. In spiritual ways, you could actually feel full-on physical, and you would be surprised at how much the soul actually feels like you would physically. I've actually had full-blown, actually it's escaping those full-blowns that I would love to do, is escape those full-blowns. I think I need to stop this video. I think it's too long. Hold on a sec. Yeah, just a little.